I'm a little late, but I'm on. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesday Talks. This is episode 31. Hey, Raz. I know I had meet the teacher night for my godson today, and then kind of threw me off a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, my Tuesday Talks. Yeah, so I just barely got in the house, got back in here, trying to settle in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everything going with you? I just realized how hungry I am. I don't even know what I'm going to eat for dinner. That's the crazy thing. I know I'm hungry, but what am I going to eat? Hey, Kate. Comment allez-vous ce soir? Yes, summer is gone. So y'all know that I did my road trip, and then I came back and I immediately went into training for work. And I've been working all day, every day, pretty much. I didn't miss a single day of work for that summer job. Cooking dinner, oh, I need to be with you right now, Kate. And so I've been trying to secure employment, trying to figure out what path God wanted me to go. Did he want me to keep doing the homeschool route? Did he want me to go back to traditional teaching? Did he want me to continue to do my own thing? Combination of things, what? So I did finally secure a job, and I am going to be working at a high school that I worked at before. When I was finishing up school, I was working in the front office as the attendance clerk there. And so I will be teaching there. And I thought about it the other day. I was like, this is kind of my way to give back. I hadn't thought about it. This is my way to give back, because they were so accommodating with me when it came to school. We got a 1-hour lunch then. Definitely not getting a 1-hour lunch as a teacher. I'm going to miss those 1-hour lunches that I had over the summer break. Hey, Sherry, thank you. But yeah, so back then we got an hour lunch, and they had morning, afternoon, and night classes. The kids then, the way their school ran then, they only had, the kids only have to come for 4 hours. So if you couldn't make morning class, you could try and make arrangements to come either for afternoon or night class. There was a lot of accommodations for the students back then, and they were very accommodating to me as well. So I would take my lunch break. The school that I was attending was, in a sense, kind of around the corner, not really around the corner, but wasn't very far from there. The next major street over. And so I would go to class. If I was gone past my hour, I would stay for night class and make up my time. So that's how they accommodated me. And that was really, really nice of them. And so I feel like now that I'm going to be able to just, give back, which is nice. So I'm excited. I actually start work tomorrow. So I've had 2 days to myself. And the vertigo kind of got me yesterday. The vertigo kind of got me again today. And so what my intent was to get everything I needed filmed for this week done by today. And it didn't happen. So yeah, I'm going to have to come home and do some filming and stuff tomorrow, and maybe some tonight. And I'm running out of space on my SD card, so I got to figure out how I'm going to work that out too. I have a video that's already filmed, but I can't edit it. because I think once I get ready to edit and upload it, I'm not going to have enough space for it to do all of that. So I don't know. Been trying to free up a whole lot of space. Everything is full. My SD card in my phone is full. My Google Drive is getting full. My OneDrive, my Microsoft OneDrive is nearly full. So I was up late last night trying to clear space out of that. And it's just been crazy. Yeah, no break, Kate. I'm gonna have to really like enjoy my weekends and really enjoy Labor Day. Because that's all I'm really gonna have until I think we get Columbus Day, if I'm not mistaken. I think we get that day off. So I'll have that, and then of course fall break. But yeah, I'm excited. Tomorrow, yes, tomorrow. So I got to do something with my hair. Yeah, got to twist that tonight. Yeah, well, they're going to have 5 days of new teacher training. And then next week, next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the teachers and administrators go to like this retreat. They call it a retreat. And it's in like one of the next major cities over, San Marcos, Texas. So we're going to be there for 3 days. And then we come back, what is that, the week of the 19th, and just have in-service there at the school. And then school starts the 26th, 25th, 26th for these kids. So, yeah. And it's funny because the co-founder and the superintendent that were there when I worked there are still there. They're making plans for retirement, but they were like, we've been waiting for you to come back. You know, they were just happy to have me back. They talked about how, you know, they really loved how I was before, my spirit and everything. And I was like, thank you. I went the big district route. I could have stayed there and taught there, and they really wanted me to stay there and teach there. But I thought I was doing the right thing and going to the big school districts. And in hindsight now, I kind of wish, like, how would things have been different if I would have stayed? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, God has his reasonings for everything. So maybe going through those other schools is going to give me a better appreciation of where I'm about to be, Yes, I do have a while before the kids come back. So that's a good thing. Yes, God always works it out. I felt bad because I had to call, the board leader of the homeschool co-op and let her know that I wasn't going to be returning. But I kind of given her an idea that I was looking for other employment because I didn't want to be in a financial strain. And I told her, last year it was a bit much, and then the enrollment, because I thought the enrollment was just low in the math classes at the homeschool co-op for this year. She was telling me that the enrollment was pretty much low across the board. And that was concerning. That was extra concerning for me. So I was just like, I know it's only 1 day a week that I drive out there, and it's a far drive, but I still don't want to drive out there once a week if the enrollment is not up to par, because that's how you get paid, based on how many kids you have enrolled in your classes. And I only had 4 kids total in all of the 4 classes that I was going to be teaching. So, and not very good. So my thing now is I have these textbooks, these homeschool textbooks, and I need to sell them because I bought them new. I used them 1 year and I'm trying to sell them. So I found a homeschool buy sell group. Hey, Lakeisha, I need to email you when I get through. Let me make a note right now, or DM you on Instagram. So I joined this homeschool buy sell group, and hopefully someone will purchase those textbooks from me so I can recoup my money from those. But we shall see. We shall see. So Yeah. Lakeisha's going to be joining me in a collab, a Back to Basics collab, which we will be posting our videos on the 11th. So if anyone is interested, DM me on Instagram and I'll give you further information on that. She and a couple others will be joining me in that. But if you're interested, let me know. I'll tell you what it's all about. Like I said, it's called Back to Basics collab. But yeah, so that's what's been going on in my life the last week. Last week was the last week of the summer program. And I was like, okay, these kids are going to be really good. It's the last week. Oh my God. I think they may have been their worst last week than they were the whole summer. And we only had about half the kids that we had mainly had throughout the weeks. We did give them like a little party on Friday, and I had to work 7:30 to 5:30 all last week because they had to let go of one of the ladies because her attendance was not up to par. Yeah. And so I had to come in early to help cover the morning time. And so it was hard because I was having to get up an hour earlier. But what made it even more stressful was I had vertigo really bad last week. So that was making it hard to function early in the morning. One day I really shouldn't have even driven to work. I really shouldn't have because the vertigo was really bad. And then we had a lot of late pickups last week. We even had a late pickup the last day. A parent was almost 30 minutes late picking up the kids on the last day. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I was stuck there till 5:55. And then I had to turn around and all the paperwork, I had to go take it to the main office, which was making me go way out of the way. Like I could have gotten home in like 15, 20 minutes. I had to I was on the northeast side of our town, and I had to go to the west side of town to take this paperwork just to drive back to the east side of town to my house. So I was like, I just want to get home. And the traffic was crazy. And yeah, but it's done. It's over. It was an interesting experience. I think it set me up for what I'm about to deal with this coming school year. Because from what I understand, I will have some middle school age kids as well. Since my certification is for grades 8 through 12, I know I'll be working with some middle schoolers and some high schoolers. And I think that, hey, Trika, she's going to be a part of our collab as well. So I'm going to be DMing you as well later tonight, Trika. But yeah, so it was crazy. And I had one lady, I knew she was going to be an issue. I was site supervisor. I was my first year working as a site supervisor, all of that. And I knew from the start that there were going to be issues because the first day of training, my jaw was stone cold tired first day of training because I just got in the night before at around 7:30. So one of the first things she says when she realizes that I'm going to be, hey, Karen, that I'm going to be her site supervisor is, oh, I'm going to be late on Thursday. So I'm just like, okay, you're already telling me you're going to have some attendance issues. So needless to say, she was late one day of training. She didn't show up one day of training. And throughout the summer, it was the same thing. It was second day, of the summer camp. She was late. Now, she and another person were the ones to come in at 7:30. Somebody has to be there when parents start dropping off their kids. Both of them were late that morning. It was not a good thing for day 2 to have both of the opening people late, but they were both late. And it was a recurring issue with her having to leave early, having to come back from lunch late because of this, because of that. She was handling all of her personal business during lunch and coming in late, handling all her business, securing herself a new job, Now, mind you, she wasn't the only one trying to secure a job. There were others of us trying to secure a job, but we weren't using all of the work time for it. I came in one day, an hour late to do a job interview. This job that I just got, I did my interviews on my lunch, literally last week. I interviewed on Tuesday, I interviewed on Wednesday and got hired. I did it on my lunch. And I did not say, oh, I'm going to be 20, 30 minutes late. Now, this lady was like coming back like 20, 30, 35 minutes late from lunch, and we have an hour. And I'm like, I'm blessed to even have an hour. I don't even know what that feels like to get an hour lunch. Haven't had that in years. But it was like she was just taking advantage of the system. And I just got fed up with it because the way that we had the lunches set up, someone was going every 30 minutes. So the only way I could go to lunch is for her to come back from lunch. And I must have gone to lunch late at least about 7 to 10 times because of her. Now, if you don't have a problem with your supervisor consistently having to go to lunch late because of you, then you don't care. And so I finally had to, make a complaint because my supervisor wasn't really trying to allow me to handle the situation the way I wanted to. I wanted to write her up, and he was like, no, feeling sorry for her and all this stuff. And I'm like, she's milking the system because he was letting her make up her time. And I told him, I said, if I can constantly be late, I can make up my time and I'm still securing me a job, still handling my personal business. Why would I think to do anything other than continuously come back from lunch late? And so I had to complain, and then they let her go. Because like the last 2 weeks that we had in the program, she started her orientation for her new job. She said for sure she was just going to be out that Monday, and then she'd come in Friday. She thought she was going to come in the last 2 Fridays of the last 2 weeks, and that was it. And so they were like, no, she's done. So I'm like, it's not like we were missing her, that they cut her off the schedule and let her go right up, because she wasn't really doing much while she was there. She was always on her phone handling her business. And I mean, it was ridiculous. She was very insubordinate, and she's the kind of person that's going to pop an attitude when you say something to her. And I know my attitude, I don't take any type of disrespect. And she tried to go there with me one morning. The only thing that saved me from going off was that we had a lady there to do a presentation for the kids. And so I was like, don't act a fool in front of the lady. Just don't. Like, we each had our own group of kids that we had to deal with. She would be like sending her kids to everybody else because she didn't want to deal with whatever problems that they were, and I'm just like, are you serious right now? Like, deal with your kids. And we all have a group of kids. And then once she's like, but they're all of our kids. I said, oh, so now they're all of our kids. But when you need to be dealing with them, you don't want to deal with them. I mean, it was just stuff like that. And I was just happy she was gone. And yeah, but that's how my summer went. I couldn't talk about all of it while it was going on, but that's how my summer went. And like I said, I lost my voice week 1 because I was constantly repeating myself. And so I'm going to be drinking me some throat coat tea tonight and all throughout the week to get my voice back before the kids come back for school. Hi, V and Naive. I don't think I welcomed you guys. Welcome. But yeah. Oh no, it took everything in my power, Naive, to stay professional with her and I'd be like, like how are you gone? You get a 1-hour lunch, and she lived nearby, right? She lived nearby. You have a 1-hour lunch, you're going home and checking on things or whatever, but you're coming back and you still haven't eaten. And so you're bringing food back with you. Like, what were you doing in that hour? Like that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I can't stand a lazy coworker. Like, it eats me up. Like, we're all getting paid to do our job here. Do your job. Hey, Connie. I don't know. First, it was an issue with foster kids. The foster kids were taken away after the first 2 weeks. So I'm like, why is there still issues with the foster kids? Then it was her securing her job. Mind you, again, we were working on the northeast side of town. She secured a job at a district that is on the northwest side of town. So you're telling me you're going to be late from lunch because you've got to go to the other side of town to do paperwork and everything. She was 20 minutes late from lunch. And so he's sitting there waiting, waiting and waiting to see when I'm going to be able to leave. She was taking advantage. And like I said, when I wanted to write her up, my supervisor was like, no, don't write her up, blah, 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 blah. No, I told him I don't do excuses. She had worked that program. She's worked that summer program for years. I think she learned how to milk the system. And the way that the timesheets would go in, they would, like a week would pass. They come like suppose they were to come get this timesheets from us today. They would include the following week on there. So we were already putting the next coming week on the timesheet, although we hadn't worked it. And I think that's why she was mad when they let her go, because she was gone that whole week, but I think she was expected to get paid still. And so they said they were going to adjust her timesheet because I'm like, she ain't here. She shouldn't get paid for the week. Like, and my thing was, I didn't agree with allowing her to make up her time. My thing is, I could see you once, but you're constantly doing this. You should just have to take the hit on your timesheet. Take the hit. When I came in that day 1 hour late for a job interview, I did not ask to make up my time. I sure didn't, and it wasn't offered to me to make up my time. So mind you, I'm already having to stay. If parents are late, I'm stuck here. I don't have a choice. I have to stay until the parents come and get the kids. And I told my supervisor, I was like, if I needed to make up time, when am I going to make it up? The only way I can make it up is to come in early the next day. And I'm not trying to come in early the next day. You know what I mean? So it was just craziness. Yeah, I really think she thought she was going to get that full week. But what was so crazy is the Friday before she started her orientation for her new job, that Friday before was the day she came in from lunch. No, that was the day she tried to pop off in front of the lady that was doing the presentation. The day prior, she was an hour. She had a lunch break, a total of an hour and 35 minutes. And he still wouldn't let me write her up. So then she turns around and tells us, I'm not going to be here all next week. I got my orientation for my job. I'm just coming in on Friday. And so it's Thursday. She's been gone all week. She texts me. She goes, I'll be in tomorrow, but I need to meet with the people again about the foster kids. And so I'm going to do that on my lunch, and I'm going to be late for lunch again. Skirt! Breaks, honey. How are you going to be gone all week? Text me and tell me. And that was another problem. She never asked, could she do things? She just said what she was going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And I was just like, how has she lasted with these people this long? How has she skated by this long? Like, I don't know. I couldn't deal with her. And I was glad when she was gone. Yeah, she should have been fired. They should have allowed me to write her up way before. But yeah. It was crazy. It was insane. She literally told a kid to come to me and say, no, she needs to handle that. So the kid comes to me and she goes, she told me you need to handle it, but you're in her group. I'm over here helping another kid do something. She needs to handle the situation. But she did that several times to me. She didn't want to handle her kids. She would try to always take her kids off by herself so she could be on her phone. She never wanted to do any of the scheduled and planned activities. I was trying to get all the group leaders to tell me the day prior, what activities do you plan to do the next day? So we make sure we have all the materials or whatever. See if it's going to work with the kids that we have, because all activities don't work with all kids. You got to consider the type of kids you have, their behavioral issues and things like that. But she didn't ever want to do any of that, like none of it. As far as she's concerned, let me take them to the basketball court. Let me take them to the playground and just let them do something. Or let me give them arts and crafts. Anything where they're not having to be, like in her case, I guess, supervised. I don't know. It was ridiculous. Yeah, I still included my write-up because I did send it off to my supervisor because he wouldn't let me write it, and I still sent it off to her. And yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. And twice he allowed her to work at other sites that needed assistance, and she still left early at those sites too. You're over there because they need the help. They're shorthanded. Why are you leaving early? Like, you should be there helping them out. And then the other girls that were, you know, working with us were upset because the last time that she got to go work at another site, the site was on their side of town. All three of us, me and the other two girls, all kind of live in the same area, which is more east, southeast. This woman lived northeast where the school was located that we were working at. Why would you let her come from the northeast to the east to work at this other site? And it was never offered to the other girls if they wanted to work at the site. Well, come to find out, she's bragging. Well, I don't mind going over there because I'm going to be leaving at 10 o'clock anyways. That's why you let her go over there, because you knew she was going to try to leave early, and I wasn't going to allow that to happen if she stayed over here. So the other girls were mad. They were like, we live so much close over there. That could have gave us a break for a day, blah, 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 blah. And I agree with them. It was not fair to them. They should have gotten that opportunity, but it wasn't even offered to them. So it was just all kind of like pettiness with her. And I don't do petty. I don't do disrespect. And I don't do lazy. And I don't do excuses. I don't care what your personal business is and what you got to handle. You got to find a time to do it. You were working 7:30 to 4:30. You still have more time to do something after work than I did. By the time I got out of there, 5:30, sometimes 6, I wasn't wanting to do anything because my day was gone, And then, so like I said, the last couple of weeks, I had to work 7:30 to 5:30 to help cover in the mornings. And it was rough. Because, I didn't want to get up that extra hour, but I did it because a job had to be done. So I did it. But yeah, that's how my summer went. That's how my summer went. And the kids were just bad. Like, I have never dealt with kids that you have to repeat instructions to so many times as these kids. And so I thought, like I said, that they would do better the last week. And no, they they didn't. They didn't do any better the last week. We even threatened like to not even give them the party that we gave them on Friday. But we still went ahead and did it. Yeah, it was me. So I'm just happy now I can get my voice back. Some of those kids, I will remember them forever and not for good reasons, unfortunately, but that's how it went. We had some good kids, but you know how it is. The ones that cause the problems are there every day. They're pretty much there every single day. And that was another thing that, like, they really didn't want us writing the kids up or suspending them. But I'm like, how do they get it through their heads that they have to have certain behaviors if we're not doing these kinds of things, if we're not writing them up and suspending them? I don't know. But yeah. But that's how summer went. But as you can see, the title of this episode is called This is America. I'm sure you all know by now, it's all over your news channels, these mass shootings that have been going on. And I know that I said that I was kind of going to do a premiere thing and start talking more about the don't be deceived. And, my brother kind of cautioned me because when people start to put out the truth, sometimes it's not welcomed. And YouTube is like trying to shut people's channels down from putting out a lot of truth. So, he cautioned me against doing what I was originally going to do for the premiere and telling y'all about a lot of different things. So I might just have to start sending y'all some links or stuff. Yeah, seriously, Raz, that's true. That is it's true. It's true. But what I would ask of you guys is to really, really think logically about a lot of this stuff. How does one come into Walmart with a gun and nobody says anything? Nobody stops them on their way in the store. There's always people at the door. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of stuff like that. And then it's just like, I don't know. I saw where somebody was posting on Facebook where they show the guy, but he's in two different pairs of pants. And how is that happening? How is he in two different pairs of pants? And some of the witnesses were also in all these other events. And it's just like, huh? It's just weird to me. It's weird. Like, how do these same people happen to be at all these same events as witnesses? Sad thing is, people are actually losing their lives to some things that are being orchestrated, and it's sad. And I wish you guys knew why these things were really being done the way that they are. A lot of people are saying we need gun control. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. I'm just saying. People kill people. Hello, Beverly. So yeah, I'm gonna probably just like start adding some links and y'all can go view them. Just so we don't have no problems with my YouTube channel. You know. What? I don't know what you're saying. But yeah, so I'll probably and it's hard to like do the description on these lives when you go webcam. It's easier to like update the description box like after the live has happened. So that's probably what I'll have to start doing. Giving y'all a little something every week for y'all to go look at and think about. Yeah, because I got a whole lot of stuff. A whole lot of stuff, I tell you. But yeah, I just think it's crazy that we had two shootings happen back to back. What was it, within 24 hours? Three shootings, something. Ohio, the Garlic Fest was like a couple of weeks ago, I think. No, a week ago. I think it was like a week ago. Hi, Crystal. Welcome. But yeah, I'm gonna get some links together. I'm gonna get some links together tonight and add those to this description box for y'all. And I'm telling you, some stuff that's gonna blow your mind. Okay, it's gonna blow your mind. For real. I already know why, but I ain't about to get it. Exactly, Nyleave. Exactly. Because it's sad. But like I was telling you guys before, when you really break down the prophecy in the Bible, it helps you totally understand why a lot of this stuff is happening. And I wanted to talk to y'all about that, but I didn't gather all my notes together. So maybe next time I'll have all my notes together to kind of go over that with you guys. Because like I said, I almost forgot to get on here because I went to meet the teacher for my godson, and I was like, oh no, I'm supposed to be on right now. But yeah, so definitely get some notes together and show you, because I don't know how many people have actually studied the prophecy. And that is an issue that I have with churches of any denomination these days. In the times that we're living in right now, if people aren't preaching Daniel and Revelations to their congregations, they're not doing their jobs. And I know when I was a child and growing up in church, people didn't really preach out of Revelations. You knew it was the last book of the Bible, but people didn't really preach on it. You know what I mean? And when I started studying that stuff, it's heavy, it's deep, and it is just like a window into what is going on in this world today. It lets you know who all of the players are and what all of their roles are, and it blows your mind. Okay. So that's why sometimes I can't get shocked by things that happen because I have studied the prophecy. And I think I told you guys about that book my brother gave me for, was it Christmas? I think he gave it to me for Christmas. Um, I need to do a giveaway and give away that book. I know we're like almost through the year and it's a devotional, but because it's not like specifically dated for 2019, you can go back and just look at those devotionals at any time. It's one for every day of the year. It goes along with writings from a woman named Ellen G. White. And I know most phones, you can get the app for her and read her writings alongside with that text. But I'm going to try and I posted it when I first got it. And I was posting the devotionals every day for a few days, but then I stopped. But the crazy thing is everything in them, it's like literally what's happening in the world today. Like it's crazy. Yeah, it is like a newspaper. You're right, Connie. It is the real deal, Holyfield. And I know sometimes it's hard for people to understand. And one thing I would recommend to people as well, I would recommend that you read the new King James, the original King James version of the Bible. And the only reason I say that is some of these other translations are literally removing scripture, important scripture. Okay. So I have always preferred using the King James version. It's hard for people to understand, but before you start studying at any time, if you ask the Lord for understanding, he's going to provide it, you know. But that's what I use. And I know that has caused problems for people understanding books like Revelations and Daniel. And you should really study the two together. There's a lot of parallels to the two of them. Book of Daniel and the book of Revelations. If you study them together, you'll get so much insight. Yeah, I will definitely share the book. And I need to see what site my brother ordered it from. And I'm going to try and do a giveaway on that. Maybe a couple of those. And it talks about how these pastors today, how some of them are not really teaching their congregations what they should be teaching them, how church has just more so, for some, become about the pastor, and the pastor is being put on a pedestal and the pastors are being worshiped and praised. And I mean, it's deep. Like, this devotional is deep. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I am behind on my devotional. Don't get me wrong. I am behind on it. I am not caught up to where I should be. But it is so insightful, like so insightful. So no matter what we discuss on Tuesday Talks, I want to just make sure that in the description box, I think I'm going to put the title of that book, leave it in there every week, and just share some links with you guys every week. In some churches, Sunday morning has become, how do you make me? Exactly. And that's why I had to stop watching and listening to Joel Osteen, because I used to watch him. And then I was like, wait a minute, he's more of a motivational speaker because he's not getting down to the nitty gritty. You know what I mean? Like, don't just make me feel good. Tell me the real deal, Holyfield. These are the last days. What is really about to take place so I can be prepared for it? Because if y'all knew, if you don't know, and if you knew, mm, yes, you're so right, Connie. He's more of like a motivational speaker. He really is. Hi, Larissa. Thanks for joining us again. Glad you came back another week. But yeah, I mean, it's just so much that I want to share with y'all. And there are so many things that are right in our faces that are masked as entertainment. And so we just think it's entertainment. But they're telling us, they're blatantly telling us, this is what we're going to do, or this is what we are doing. And you're so stupid. You're just letting us entertain you right now that you don't have a clue of what's going on. One of those Batman movies, they told you in that movie something that was going to happen, but it was entertainment. It didn't click, but they told you, and it happened. Like, it happened. I'm telling you, it's insane. It's insane. I don't know exactly which one. I know it was one of those last ones that, what is that dude's name? Was it Heath Ledger? Was that his name? The one of the last guys to play the Joker? I know he was in it. It might have been The Dark Knight. Yeah, that might have been the one. They tell us so much stuff, to the point where now when I go back and I watch like old movies and old TV shows, I'm like, I pick up on it now. I'm like, yeah. Like, I pick up on that stuff now. I'm just like, wow, they were talking then and we weren't getting it. I mean, even cartoons, guys, like, even cartoons. There's a movie called Josie and the Pussycats. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. I've never seen the full movie, but I saw a video that talks about it, and I watched a clip, and I was like, interesting. They had a surveillance club, guys. Yeah. The Simpsons have predicted everything. That is why they are the longest running show on television. That's why they ain't going nowhere. Seriously. Yeah. Even in a Tom and Jerry cartoon, they had like the all-seeing eye and they were bowing down to it and everything. Yeah. Even in a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Telling you. You know, when we just saw this stuff as funny and entertaining, like entertaining. Interesting, Niley. Yeah, I mean, it's just so much. Like, I can't give it to you all at once because I'll literally blow your mind. But I'm just gonna start putting some links, and you can go to the links if you want to. Yeah, because my brother was just showing me a video the other day about these shootings. I don't see it as an I see it as something as telling us what we need to know, which is why I delete out my social media pages. Yeah. It's mind-blowing. Yeah. It really is. And that's why I don't want to seem insensitive to the violence, because I'm not insensitive to the violence. I'm just not shocked, is what it is. Like, I'm just not shocked. And so my brother was telling me something about Facebook bought Instagram and something, or they're taking over Instagram and something. I don't know. I'll have to ask him about that one though. But it's just so much going on. And there's a reason for all of this, all these shootings. And, but I'm going to say it again. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Because imagine that there were to come a time where you needed to protect yourself and you couldn't, because the gun control said no more guns. Just think about that. Tupac says that's people kill people. Yeah, people kill people. People kill people. And a lot of things happen in this world to incite certain feelings and certain attitudes and to incite certain behaviors. Yes. So keep that in mind as well. And I always say this on my Facebook page. And when something is mainstream media, there's usually an agenda, or it's a distraction, or both. Just know that. Just know that. Yeah. It's like this world is a stage, and there's a lot of people out here playing roles. Yes. So I'm telling you, it's just too much. And I was just like, the shooting just happened. It happened in El Paso, which is right alongside the border. I found that interesting too. So yeah, I don't know. Russian roulette with our lives, pretty much. That's why I also have a hard time when people say have an open mind. Too much of an open mind can be a bad thing, in my opinion. When we're too open-minded, we're too accepting of things. We can tend to be too impressionable and gullible and naive when we are too open-minded. Still use logic and common sense with everything. Too much going on. And it's sad. It's sad, but when you know that these things have to play out for Jesus to return, then in a crazy way, it kind of brings you a little bit of comfort and peace. I know that sounds weird, but you know these things have to happen. That's why I'm so happy and blessed that I have studied the prophecy several times, and it makes me want to just go and study it again. Like, I am willing to get on Skype and do a lesson with you guys on that, or whatever. If y'all is that something y'all are interested in? But I will try and get my notes together so we can talk about that some more next week. That's been since you first talked about this. I thought about the tragedy events. Yes. I started looking at all kinds of stuff differently, all kinds of things that have happened in the past. I started looking at all of them differently. When I tell you there are people out there in the news, in the media today, people that you know, if I call their names, you would know who I'm talking about. Some of these people, we think that they are for the greater good of the people, but yet they have their own role that they have to play in this agenda as well. And it's really not for your best interest. They make it seem like it is, but it's not. I mean, there are people in the past that you may have thought were doing good, and they were only used for the agenda, but you thought they were good, and what they did was good. And I mean, people, if I called their names, it would shock you. Like they weren't for our greater good. No, they were. There was an agenda. Well, I've always felt a certain way about politicians, period. I just feel like politics is just not an arena I want to have anything to do with. And I just feel like you're kind of forced into corruption, into politics. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. But all right, Connie, thanks for joining us. So it's just like craziness. I don't know. And the more I learn, sometimes the more I don't want to know anything more. And I'm just like, oh, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But as G.I. Joe says, knowing is half the battle, right? So when you know, you can't be deceived. Like you can't be fooled, you can't be gullible, you can't give up certain of your rights or vote a certain way or go or support a certain cause when you know the truth, you know. Why did I get a call for fake scammers? Yeah. Yeah, seriously, Crystal. It sometimes it kind of weighs on you. When I first started learning things, it was weighing on me heavy. Like I would cry a lot. Like seriously, I would cry a lot. Yes, like opening Pandora's box. Because you want to believe that the world is good, but there's so much evil here. And I was telling somebody, I forget who I was talking to, but I was like, don't forget, people think that hell is this like pit and blah, blah, blah. Don't forget where the devil was cast out, was cast out to the earth. This is his stomping ground. This is his playing field here. That is why there's all this stuff going on here. This is his arena. Okay? It's his arena. I don't know what you're trying. Yes, it's his turn. You would like to see brother. Y'all know brother ain't coming on here. I like he could really help me tell y'all about some of this stuff, but you know, he gonna be acting all shady and all that over there. I hope he fixing me dinner too, because I'm hungry. That's why we want to see him. Oh goodness. But yeah, it's you have to remember the devil was cast here. Okay. And remember, a third of the angels were cast out with him, who are his demon army. Like, you got to remember that. And I think I mentioned this before. Los Angeles means the angels, Los Angeles. And Hollywood, holly is a some kind of plant that kind of puts you to sleep, I think is what they say it does. Has this effect to put you to sleep. Why do you think so much goes on in Hollywood? Okay. And one other thing I tell people, don't forget, what was Satan's job when he was Lucifer? He was in charge of the angelic choir. He knows how music works. He knows how music affects the soul, the brain, the emotions. Why do you think our music is the way that it is? he knows how to get, and he knows how to get us through the music. Like he knows. And I was thinking one day, and I was like, and that sucker got us to bump it in our cars. We had everybody buying subwoofers and all these big speakers, and he got us, like, he got us. Like, seriously. Craziness when you really sit and think about things. And we used to always wonder why people were one-hit wonders, right? And then after I started learning things, I was like, oh, they weren't one-hit wonders. They were the ones that ran for their lives. They were the smart ones that got gone before they got caught up. That's why we have one-hit wonders, people. They ran. We had a pastor. He was a young pastor. When I was still attending the church that I was going to. This was like maybe 2-3 years after I'd been there. And he came and he did a special, I guess you could call it a seminar one evening. He used to be in the music industry. He was a part of a rap group. And that man came that night and talked to us about the industry. When I tell you, he had our minds blown. Yeah. And we tried to make sure like as many of our youth were there that evening because we knew that he wanted to kind of address his seminar to the youth. Yeah, he blew our minds. He blew our minds that night, telling us some things about the industry. And then I started finding out even more stuff. And it's like, goodness. Hey, Michelle. We were talking about these shootings and all this stuff that's going on in America and in the world today. And how it all has to play out. It all has to be fulfilled for Christ to return, and that there are reasonings for a lot of these things happening. There's agendas involved here. I don't fool with Beyonce like at all. I've never liked her ever before she even became just Beyonce. I didn't even like Destiny's Child. I never liked them. I don't see the hype about her. And I've heard and watched some videos about how she's gotten caught up in the industry. And that even turns me off even more from her. But I hadn't watched that performance. Or I don't think I watched the Super Bowl event either. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then like this whole thing Kanye's doing with these worship services and stuff. And there's something that people need to understand. You have these celebrities, even some of these gospel artists. And just because they're singing about God or thanking God or praising God doesn't mean that they are talking about the one true living God, because there are other gods in this world. We know this from reading through the Bible. People will make anything and anyone their God. But just because you hear them say, I want to thank God, and no, that doesn't mean they're talking about the one true living God. That doesn't mean they're talking about the creator. They have other gods that they worship, Exactly. That doesn't mean that they're all about our God. So that's just something you need to be aware of. And some of these gospel singers, they will blow you away with their true agendas as well. I don't even really listen to a lot of gospel singers anymore, knowing what some of them are all about. I just don't fool with all of them. I just don't. For one, I've never, even as a child, I didn't like when people would, let me say, show out in church. I don't like all that hollering. and bringing attention to yourself. I don't like that from people that get up and sing. I don't like that from people that get up and preach. I have never liked it. Even as a child, I never liked it. I never understood why a pastor has to get up and I never understood it. It never made sense to me why you had to do all of that just to bring me the word. Because for me, that's my favorite part of the church service is when they're bringing the word. I see now that a lot of churches are trying to appease people by bringing the world into the church, trying to appease the young people by bringing the young people's music into the church. Everybody wants to be entertained. You're not going to always be entertained in life. Like, it's just not going to happen. You're not always going to be entertained. Just like in class, it's not always going to be fun and entertaining. Sometimes we really just need to get to the nitty gritty and let me teach you this lesson. Okay? So you're not always going to be entertained, but that's what people want. They want to be entertained. There are a lot of misconceptions about things in church. Like, oh, I got the Holy Ghost, so I'm going to get up and I'm going to just start dancing around like I'm crazy and all this here. That ain't what God intends for us to be necessarily doing in church. I remember I had a student and he would always be like, oh yeah, I love when we have praise breaks at church. We had a praise break at church and I was just going and going. And then I got tired. And I told him, I said, if it was really the Holy Spirit that had you dancing like that, do you think you really would have got tired? You would have had all the energy you needed to keep going. That's what I told the kid, because I'm just like, I've gone to a church before where everybody were like on cue, like everybody in the church just starts speaking in tongues together at the same time. I mean, from little bitty child to grown adult. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm the only one sitting there looking around like this. No. We take that the wrong way too. I think people really need to read that scripture again in Acts and why that gift was given and how that gift was used. It was to talk to people that did not speak the same language. So my thing is, if we both can understand English, why do we both need to be speaking tongues to each other in church? Who are we trying to speak to? Who are we trying to speak to? You can speak the English. I can speak the English. I can understand you. You can understand me. Why do we need to speak in tongues? Who are we ministering to that we need to be speaking in another language? That was the purpose of that gift then. And people have taken that all out of context these days. Like all out of context. Some people actually believe if you don't speak in tongues, you will not go to heaven. Like they seriously believe that. And then my thing is, okay, you're speaking in tongues, but what are you saying? Do you even know what you're saying? Because the devil can put words on your tongue. Do you know what you're saying? What language are you speaking? And what does it translate to? Thank you. Like, I don't need you to just be talking about nothing. I've sat and listened to several pastors, and I see it more when I'm at a funeral than anywhere else. They just talking about nothing. Like, you have this message that you claim you're about to bring, and then you totally get completely way off track from that. And it's just like, and my thing is, if you're not coming from the word, I like you to be coming from the word. Show me in the scripture. Because that's how my younger brother preaches. He hasn't preached in a long time. He and my older brother were both elders at church. But since we haven't really been to church, he hasn't preached in a long time. But that's how my younger brother preaches. Some might find it boring, but you can best believe throughout his entire sermon, you're going to be in that book. Okay? You are going to be in the word like the entire time. My older brother, same way. They're going to keep bringing you back to the scripture. And I remember one of the elders that we used to go to church with, he used to tell you, don't just take my word or any man's word once they're up there preaching. You go back and you read the scripture for yourself and you get an understanding for yourself. Too many people talk. Yes, ma'am. Too many. My former coworker is a alcoholic and it drives me crazy because I could never stand out. Yeah. Yes. You're right. And so and like I said earlier, I feel like today, if you really want to be preparing your congregation for salvation, to meet Christ, to meet God, you need to be talking and preaching from Daniel and Revelations, because they need to know what's really about to be going down in these last days. And if they don't know, they can't prepare themselves properly. Like they cannot prepare themselves properly. And I know some people, they are more about tradition when it comes to church. They don't want to go against tradition, or they're caught up in Christendom and things like that. And you can't tell them anything. They don't want to hear it. But the Bible says all shall know the truth before the Lord returns. So they're going to hear it one way or another. All shall know the truth before he returns. So I don't do TV evangelists really anymore. I haven't really watched any in a long time, because I started to find out what they were really all about. What is that dude's name? Kenneth Copeland, is it? I watched an interview he did with a lady. Y'all, when I tell you that was disturbing, I'm going to try and see if I can find that link too. You could just see it all in his face that something wasn't right. It was just like, what? What? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think, like, the church that I was going to, my old pastor, he was from Jamaica. He used to be a DJ before he came to the church, before he became a Christian, I guess. He was a DJ. This man, what impressed me about him when I first heard him speak is how he could just recite scripture, and I mean long passages of scripture, long passages. He could just recite them. And then he kind of got away from all of that. It became less about preaching the word than it was more about entertaining. And I just wanted to tell him so badly, you're not a DJ anymore. When you have to become a hype man for the praise team, then there's a problem. You should not be hype man for the praise team. For one, you should be consecrating yourself to bring the word while the praise team is even up here singing. Back when I was a kid, back in my Baptist churches that I went to, we didn't see the pastor's face until almost right before he gave his sermon or like the altar prayer or something like that. Like, the pastors were in the back consecrating themselves. And so I thought that was weird when I joined that Adventist church, when I would see some of the pastors, and not all, just some, they are already out there. Like, I wasn't used to that. I was used to the pastors really consecrating themselves for the message, for the word, to bring the word, you know? But yeah, some of them, they just want to entertain, unfortunately. But I could go on and on about this. Y'all know I could. Like Michelle say, I'm trying to get her started. We're going to have some more discussions like this, sister. But yeah, I'm going to put that devotional book, that title and everything in the description box. Check with my older brother about where he got it, because I do want to give away at least a couple of those. And like I said, it's not like a devotional where you're journaling in it and it's based on a certain year. Yes, the day and the month and the day are listed because it's a devotional for every day, but you can start it at any time. It's not like once 2019 is over, you can't use it. You'll still be able to use that devotional. Um, so I'm going to link to put that information in the description box. I'm also going to put some links for you guys for some stuff for you to go check out. Um, but I thank you guys. Like, y'all know y'all be getting me hype. I be want to stay on here forever, but I can't. I gotta go to work tomorrow. And I gotta figure out what I'm gonna eat. I always do. That's me every week, right, y'all? Like I never know what I'm gonna eat when I get off of Tuesday talk. So sad. I wish I was over there with Kate right now eating because I know she's cooking. But yes, I thank y'all for joining me. I thank Crystal. Thank you for showing up here with us this evening, and Trika and Lakeisha and Larissa. I want to say it was. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. I want to say it was Larissa. Yes, Larissa. So thank you for coming back, and do come back next week. Do give me about 30 minutes top to get some stuff put in this description box for you guys, and check it out. Like seriously, check it out. All right, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys every week. Thank y'all for still coming on, although I was late. Like I said, I forgot. Came from Meet the Teacher night and was about to start chilling. And then I remembered, oh no, I got to get on my live. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. And thank you guys again for all your prayers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that as well. And I will see you guys on the next live. Peace. Bye-bye.